Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. To you I say Shalom. Lord willing, His blessing is edifying to the flock of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And as it says on the screen, it says Obama wants digital fingerprints to counter misinformation. Right. Again, this is a form of not only gradualism, so they can implement the CHIP, but this is also a form of control, man. All right, this is also a form of gradualism, man. All right, let me just go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right. Esau Edom uses political puppets as tools to purpose their agenda, man, and for their agenda, man. And their agenda is, to keep the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, in the dark and lost, man. They don't want you turning to the light. They don't want you turning to Yahweh Shai to help to deliver you out of their clutches, man. All right, because the longer that you remain in darkness, the longer they remain in power, the longer that you remain in captivity, the longer they keep their kingdom, man. All right, but the water Yabashim Yashai, it's not going to happen the way they plan it to happen, man. All right, and this is all part of their plan, implementing things such as AI and making it easily accessible now. Right, because we've been hearing about AI for years, decades, man. Even Will Smith had a movie called I, Robot. I came out back in 2004, I believe, around that time. But in that time, they had robots controlled by AI that eventually were able to create their own thoughts and act under their own power, man. All right, but even though AI was talked about, it was never easily accessible. Now everybody in the world, as long as you have a smartphone, you have easy access to artificial intelligence, man, AI. But the thing about that is that they want you to have it so they can have a reason to implement things like this and implement things like the CHIP, man. All right? Because anything that they say is for your safety, for your best interest, is truly not, man. This is how they're going to push the CHIP, man, starting with things like this. All right, we're going to push digital fingerprints to counter misinformation. So anything you get will be the truth. This is what they're trying to frame it as, man. But really, they're the one that's been lying the whole time, man. All right, let me jump over to the book of Job, chapter 20. Job 20, starting at verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. All right. The reason I brought this out, man, because even though they have a plan set in place, right? Because they've been planning this for decades, man. How they're going to implement the CHIP, all right? The Lord told us about this millennia years ago, man. All right. But even though they have their plan set in place, man, it's not going to play out the way it's going to happen, man. They're only going to triumph for a short period of time. Yes, the CHIP will be mandated, right? But it's not going to play out the way they think it's going to play out, man. And also, it says that the triumphing of the wicked is short. Job 20:5, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Right? This is a hypocrite right here, man. Right? The United States government is a hypocritical government, man. Right? Including their political puppets that they use, including the one that you see on screen, man. All right? They're all the same. They all play for the same team. No politician is going to deliver anybody, man. Anybody can't deliver anybody in the first place, man. This is why we need Yahweh Shai. But nonetheless, the reason why I brought that out, him being a hypocrite specifically, because when he was president, right, they signed a bill, I should say the government signed a bill that made propaganda legal to be pushed out by the government. All right. So for decades they had anti-propaganda bills in Babylon in America, man. All right, but they used this puppet here to sign bills to cancel that and make propaganda legal. And what did that cause? The spread of misinformation, man. All right, so now you have the guy responsible, allegedly, because he's just a face behind the wicked elite, man, or in front of the wicked elite. All right. Now you have a man allegedly responsible for pushing misinformation. Now he wants to combat misinformation with digital fingerprints, man. All right. Let me jump over to the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 8. I'll start at verse 21, but the point is at 25. Daniel 8 and 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn is between his eyes. Salaki, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. It's talking about Alexander the Great. Verse 22. Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. Right? Talking about the Diadochi, the four generals the four generals of Alexander, man. Verse 23, and in that latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, going into Antiochus. But here's the point I wanted to get to, verse 24, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper, and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Right. Again, this is, even though this is talking about Antiochus, everything that happened in the past times is going to happen again, man. So it could be applied to modern day times as well, too, man. All right. Verse 25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. All right. Esau, Edom, and their policies is going to cause many to be destroyed, man. Just like policies such as legalizing the alphabet community, man. That's something that happened again when this man was president, man, or alleged president, man. All right. That policy is going to cause many people to be destroyed. Not even if you are an alphabet, a sodomite, and you get married. Not only will you be destroyed, but anybody in support of that being okay to be legal, right, is going to be destroyed as well, man. So that's a policy that's going to destroy many in and of itself. Now think about how many people are going to be destroyed when they take that C hip, man. Pursuant to Revelation 14 and 9, man. All right. That's another policy that's going to cause many people to be destroyed, right? Because why are people going to get it? Because they won't be able to buy or sell, man. All right. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Right? When you go into that word mark in Revelation 13 and 16, it's charagma, which means something that's physically inserted, man. All right? And with that thing physically inserted, which is the RFID chip, the C-hip, right? Salakia. But with that thing physically inserted, without that thing physically inserted, you won't be able to buy or sell, man. So now you got to think about living in a society where everything is dependent on the fiat currency, man. All right? Fiat currency is the tool used to keep people in captivity, man, because you can't live without it, or in society you can't live without it. But we got to be ready to be as pilgrims on the earth, man. All right? If you have to have that in your mind that there's one day, real soon, where the U.S. dollar is not going to be acceptable currency anywhere, right? And you will have to take a RFID C-hip in order to be a regular member of society where you're able to buy and sell. right? Because it's not just like buying food and clothes and things like that. You got to think about natural resources too: food, water, electricity, transportation, right? These things require fiat. Right now, the way the system is set up, it requires fiat currency, man. All right. What are you gonna do when the fiat currency you do have, the Federal Reserve notes that you do have, are no longer accepted? You're gonna conform. All right. 2/3 of our people are gonna conform and accept the C hit, man. All right. But you gotta be in that mindset where this is not an option, man. All right. Because this is another policy that's gonna be the cause of many people, man. All right. Let me get one more. I'm gonna close out. The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10. I'll start from the top. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Right? If you had any wisdom, you will instruct your people properly. Right? You wouldn't have bills and policies regarding, transhumanism, man. Right? And regarding sodomites, man. Right? Because the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. Right, so if you have a judge that's not in the fear of the Lord, consider your society to be wicked, man. Because why? Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right. Now think about who's in charge of not only Babylon, but also the world. This is why the whole creation is growing out, because the wicked are in charge, man. All right, and because the wicked are in charge, all of his officers are in charge. The people under him, his subordinates, because he's the judge is wicked, they're wicked as well. And what kind of people run the city, run the government, run society? If they're wicked, consider all society to be wicked. This is why we're living in hell, man. All right, because there's no righteousness in this place, man. You have to search deep and hard to find righteousness in this place, man. Any sort of righteousness, man. All right. Verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited, man. All right, an unwise king, right, one that doesn't fear the Lord, will destroy his people. 2/3 of our people, a lot of 2/3 of our people, I'm not gonna say every single 2/3, but a lot of 2/3 of our people, man, they consider Obama to be a king, man. They love that. They love that nigga, man. They sing that Jeezy song whenever they see Obama or talk about him. Talking about my president is black, my Lambo is blue. The folly, man. Right? But he not realizing that he's an unwise king destroying his people, man. All right? When I say his people, I don't mean his nationality, but his people that chose him to be their leader, man. All right? Sirach 10:4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, right? And that one that is profitable, that will rule over the entire planet forever and forever, man, is Yahweh Shai, man. All right? And this is what we're waiting for, man. This is what we're waiting for. This is the Prince of Princes that Esau Edom is going to go against, pursuant to Daniel chapter 8 and 25, man. All right? Actually, I don't know if I read that. Salakia. Daniel chapter 8. Daniel 8 and 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the Prince of Princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Right? Because, Yahweh Shai is coming without holding weapons, man. All right, Esau Edom has been magnified and put on a high platform, or in a high position. He's been lifted up with pride because of his carnal strength, man. He was blessed with the sword, and that blessing has gone to his head, man. All right, therefore pride compasses them about as a chain, man. Or if we paraphrase it, all right, you gotta understand, true power comes in the form of not holding any weapons, man. If you could destroy nations, kingdoms, planets, earths, man, without holding any weapons, form of weapon in your hand, man. That's true power, man. If any weapon that's created can't harm you at all, that's true power, man. Because what can hurt you at the end of the day? All right. But I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Until next time, I want to say Shalom and Abad Babal.